All right, the saga continues. Carson Wentz is still here, but what's going on behind the scenes? ESPN Sal Paolantonio is set to join us here for a Sal Pal Thursday edition. Thanks to our guys, Johnny G, Burger Realty. Those guys, fantastic. Johnny G's been a great listener, great friend for a while, and I know that Sal feels the same way because it gives us the ability to have these conversations. And I know that you said your wife wasn't going to let you do this, but Howie Roseman stepped in and probably said, hey, just give him one more week of conversations here with Mike Gill. Is that how it went?
Well, she set the deadline for 3 p.m. Thursday, which is today.
So
she said Friday, Saturday, Sunday, off limits. So here I am on the beautiful Mike Gill show, thanks to Johnny G and the Griner team at Burger Realty in Ocean City. And I can't wait to come down to OC and have Johnny G set me up with a couple of summer rentals. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the summertime is going to be interesting because we're going to have training camp and we're going to see possibly a quarterback controversy if they can't pull off this trade. It looked like it was imminent. Sal, what is happening now? Where's the leverage with Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, let's first address this whole issue of it being imminent. I never felt like it was going to be imminent if the Eagles were going to demand a first-round pick. That's what I always thought. I thought that was pie in the sky. A lot of teams snickered at that, laughed at that. Because, the bottom line was, in order for the Rams to trade Goff to the Lions, they needed to give Detroit 3 picks, including two first-rounders, to swallow Goff's contract. And, Mike, Wentz's contract is worse than Goff's. Worse. More onerous. More salary cap unfriendly. So that's one. And two, anybody who looked at what happened last year, Goff did go to the playoffs. He did wind up in Green Bay with his football team. Wentz played a lot worse than Goff. So how is Wentz worth more than Goff?
That's a good question at this point. So you're saying, in other words, let me ask you this. If they had a first-round pick on the table, would they have already taken that deal?
Of course.
So,
you're so right, Mike Gill. You're so right. If the Colts had given him, I think the Colts have 21. If the Colts had said, we'll give you number 21, or the Bears said, we'll give you number 20, roll up the limousine at Wentz's house, all expenses paid, Philadelphia Eagles, and get him to the airport and get him out of town.
Yeah. That's kind of how it feels. So let me ask you this. Do you think that Roseman is playing this right, or do you think that he has overplayed his hand?
Well, Michael, clearly the answer is B, because they haven't traded him. And here's the problem with Wentz, right? Let's keep it real. We're talking on the radio to a Philly fan base. So let's keep it real. One, he played extremely poorly last year. Bottom of the league. He was worse than Sam Darnold. I'm going to say it again. He was worse than Sam Darnold in most categories. Worse than Sam Darnold. I mean, come on. So that's one. Two, he's coming off a concussion. He's got a bad knee. He's got a back that's dodgy. Three, he put it out there through whatever emissaries to people like Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter, who are the best reporters in the business, that he had a fractured relationship with his coach and that he could never come back.
Right.
How is that the right way to handle your business?
And still hasn't spoken.
And the last G behind door number 4, here's the worst contract that any team has ever signed with a franchise quarterback. And we'll set you up for failure because of the salary cap hit you have to take in a year where we don't even know where the salary cap's going to be. So you got problems in 4 major areas.
Let me ask you this, Sal. Is there any way that you envision that they could put the toothpaste back in the tube and have him back here?
Right, so those are the 2 options that are available, and both of them are bad. Option number 1 is, as you just said, attempt to put the toothpaste back in the tube. Have you ever tried that?
Not easy.
Go up to your bathroom and inadvertently squirt some toothpaste into the sink, and it's your last tube of toothpaste, and you got to brush your teeth for a week because you're stuck in your house and you've got to try to put it back in the tube. Go ahead, we'll wait. No, can't do it.
No, it's not very easy.
No, Mike. It's impossible. That's why we use that term. You know, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, and you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So that's option number one. And option number two is you have to just give them away.
Okay, now there you go. Just give him away. Like, are teams at this point impatient? Are they saying, hey, at some point you're going to buckle, you're going to give in, and then at that point you're going to call us and we're going to give you less?
You know, in South Philly we call that squadouche.
Oh, man. Well, I feel right now squadouche is what we got. We got Wentz in one hand, no offer in the other.
Yeah, squadouche is what is on the table. And when that's the case, it's never good. So we don't want to make fun of this situation too much. It is pretty odd and unacceptable. And we are talking about the beloved football team of millions of people. And this is an untenable situation. It's untenable for Carson Wentz, too. Carson Wentz is not a bad person. He's not a bad guy. I've known him since the day he was drafted. He's earnest. He's tough. He wants to do the right thing. Has he been a little uncoachable and stubborn? Of course. Are all superstars that way? Most of them are. But he has obviously diminishing talent or diminishing effectiveness. Let's put it that way.
Now,
and
Sal,
that's proven.
Sal, my father is an attorney, so I have some attorney tendencies when I ask some of these questions, and this might be speculative, so you can object to answer if you would like. However, I would like to see if Howie Roseman pulled a Matt Klintak and just said, you know what, I'm stepping down. Would Wentz change his tune?
That's highly speculative. Move on to the next question. I'll be Drew Rosenhaus. How about that? Next question.
All right. I'm just, because people are in this thought of, why are you trying to trade Wentz? If it's just, like essentially they're saying Laurie's picking Roseman over Wentz, that the organization's taking the front office over this quarterback, and if you can't get what you want for this quarterback, how about trying to go a different route?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one. That's a tough one. But, right now they're in the middle of trying to figure out, okay, how do we fix this problem? So if they think they can bring Wentz back, how does that impact this locker room, which has already been impacted, not only by the upheaval of last year, but of the national conversation that they have been in conversations and trying to trade Carson Wentz. Yeah. And so when you are, that's really hard. It's hard to do. It's hard for the organization to save face, and it's hard for a quarterback like Wentz to save face, especially somebody cashing such a big check. We all know the dynamics of a locker room, some better than most, and I've been in a lot of locker rooms, and particularly the one that's run by Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham and Zach Ertz and Jason Kelsey. I know that locker room very well. And I know what puts it together. I know what has divided it. And in order for Carson Wentz to come back and save face within the organization, there's going to have to be a lot of mended fences along the way. So that's one. And then two, more important than that, is you talk to fans. I talk to fans. We are in touch with people who love the team. Mike, am I wrong in saying that most people that we talk to have moved on from Carson Wentz?
I was literally just about to follow up because a lot of these receivers are planning on working out with Jalen Hurts. John Clark reported this, that they're going to work out with Jalen Hurts. It feels that the organization has moved on from this. You wouldn't have your receivers going to work with the backup quarterback, right?
Yeah, no, it's a big problem. So the toothpaste option is not good.
No. Certainly not good. Is the giving him away option, is that the most, right now, is it the highest option on your list? Is that if they're not getting what they want, they're just going to have to acquiesce to whatever offers the best of the crappy ones?
Yeah. Sometimes you can't get what you want. You have to just get what you need.
A little Rolling Stones for you here on the Sal Pal Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, are truer words ever spoken than about those words about this situation? They have to get what will. Well, wow, I'm going to use another big word for you: mollify the fan base, right? Because no, it is. A football team is part of the body politic. It's in the end a civic enterprise. Because you do have to convince fans to come out and fork over a lot of money and be passionately behind your team, and financially support your team. So if your fan base thinks that you are willy-nilly wasting millions of dollars like you did on the Andrews brothers or on Kevin Cobb or on other players who made millions of dollars and didn't perform for you, then you lose the moral authority to be the leader of this civic enterprise. And I don't think I'm getting too heavy or deep here. I think people who are listening to this understand, because in Philadelphia, people have gone through distasteful disappointment years over their franchises just spending money on players who didn't come through, who didn't make whole on the promise to build a championship or win one. And so now you have a franchise quarterback who's the highest paid player in the history of the franchise, who is walking away from his contract because he doesn't feel like he's wanted, or there may be a trust lost.
Yeah. Well,
and people, no, Mike, you talk to fans. People are insulted by this situation, are they not? They feel like this is an insult because this is a proud, smart fan base that understands what's up. And you're not going to pull the wool over people's eyes. You've got to be real. And so far, the words that have been coming out of the organization are not real. And the promises are not kept. And so now you have to, if you want to give them away and sever ties with the young man and move on, because Jalen Hurts is working out with the wide receivers, as John Clark has reported, and because there is a fracture in the locker room, as Chris Mortensen has reported, then you have to be on the level with this fan base. And that's the thing that I think is lacking here. If they would just come out and say, listen, things didn't work out. We made a mistake. We paid the guy X amount of dollars. It didn't work out. We're sorry. But here's what we're getting in exchange, and we think we can move on from that. If they just say that and level with people, I think they'll be better off. Don't you agree with me?
Work for the Sixers. Hey, we're going to lose for a couple of seasons. Jump on board and grow with us.
Yeah.
What was it?
And you know what?
Together we'll build.
I'll tell you something. After the Super Bowl, I was down in Tampa. As you know, I covered the Bucs during the Super Bowl run. Went to Washington. Went to New Orleans, went to Green Bay in the middle of a pandemic. Hard to do. Went to Tampa, easy to do, to cover the Bucs. And after the game, I was on the phone with Bruce Arians because you can't interview them one-on-one. And I'm on the phone with Bruce Arians, and I said, okay, Bruce, tell me what it's all about. Let me know what you think. And he said, Sal, we had a good team. All we needed was a change in leadership. We needed a leader. We needed a change in culture. And I needed to get out of the way. And you know what? I needed to get out of the way. And you look at the Sixers, and they brought in Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers, and they got a change in leadership, and they got a change in culture, and pretty much the same roster, a couple of tweaks here and there. And lo and behold, they're number one. They're at the top of the Eastern Conference right now. And they're going to go to the finals and play probably the Lakers. I don't think Utah's going to get there. I think they're probably going to play the Lakers in the finals. And in 1 year, by just changing the GM and the head coach, a lead and a change in culture, they did it. And that's really what it's all about.
And if that happens and LeBron's in the locker room, I'll make sure that I film it this time.
And if we're in the locker room with LeBron, we'll know that the world is right side up again.
That is true. All right, Sal Paolantonio, kind enough to move to a Thursday because his wife said if he did Friday that he would be ungats. Done. All right, Sal. Well, we'll catch up when something happens. Draft's on the way, free agency,
Yep.
and you take care, my friend.
Listen, Mike, I want to say thank you to you, Johnny G at Burger Realty, to all the listeners of this great station. I've gotten tremendous feedback all along the Jersey Shore and beyond, Delaware, everywhere. People listen to your show. People love your show. People respect what you do. I'm happy to be on the air with you. I think you do a tremendous job. And we will talk soon for sure. But I'm going to take a little bit of a break.
Yep.
And, listen, Carson Wentz gets traded. I'll go to Mrs. Paolantonio and I'll say, listen, I got to call Mike.
Tell her I'll send her a dozen donuts.
You better make that roses, brother.
Take care, man.
See ya.
All right, he like all guests appear to be the boardwalk on the hotline. There you go. Sal Pal Friday or Sal Pal Thursday because I will not be here tomorrow on the Friday. So he was kind enough to acquiesce his schedule to my schedule.